What is up, YouTube? I have your somewhat delayed but mostly sort of on time deck for the week, and this week we are bringing Team Aqua's Viper, and this is not a regular Team Aqua deck. I call this the Pest Nest, and you'll find out why. First of all, well, it's alliterative, but also this is a kind of a control-y deck, and with Team Aqua's Viper, the main attack we're looking for here is his Venom Tail. If your opponent's got a status condition on their Pokemon, this actually removes a special energy from their Pokemon by attacking. I mean, it's a guaranteed energy removal, which is amazing. It also does 30 damage, but we're mainly concerned with that energy removal because it's a means of control. Here comes the pest part. We're also running Team Aqua's Muck. It can make our opponents getting away from their status conditions a lot harder by increasing their retreat, but we're actually going to be looking at his Pester attack. A part of Team Aqua's Muck that doesn't get nearly as much attention as his ability. It's 60 damage, but if they have a status condition, it is 60 more damage. That's 120. And if you think about maybe Poison with Verbank, dealing 30 going into their turn, they just take 120. That's 150. EXs get knocked out if they don't switch out there at the end of the opponent's turn, which is a pretty bad time to get knocked out. We're also running 3 Team Aqua's Grimer, of course, to support those mucks. And our status condition, to make sure we're always getting it, is we're running 2 Ariados. Now, of course, that also hits us, but we've got some means of combating that. Basically, we want to be able to poison our opponent anytime we need to. If they stay in and are still poisoned, great, we don't have to fire it off and endanger our own Pokemon, but we want to have the ability to fire it off even more than with just Hypnotoxic Laser alone. We are also running 2 Spinnerax to support our Ariados, and our final Pokemon are going to be 2 copies of ShameNEX because we've got some room on our bench, and this guy's draw power is nice, and we are also running some scoop up kind of stuff. Which Shaman appreciates, and that can keep us healthy card-wise. Speaking of which, we're running 4 copies of Professor Sycamore. You could be running for Juniper for Expanded, but Sycamore was closer, and yeah, I just grabbed Sycamore. Don't judge me. But at any rate, we're also running 2 Ends. This can be helpful for games you're falling a little behind and limit your opponent's options while drawing yourself heavy, and it's a good early game draw too. We're also running Colress because we're probably going to have a fairly heavy bench because you want to get those mucks down. You'll probably have a Viper or 2 in play, and then maybe a Shaman or 2 in your opponent's bench too. Yeah, Colress is going to be your friend here. So he's a good option to have. Same goes for teammates. We have lots of small Pokemon that can be revenge killed. So even though we're going to be controlling our opponent's energy and statusing them quite a bit, we're still going to be suffering some knockouts. So teammates is a great way to capitalize on that. We're also running one Scylla to go get various one-of targets. We're running AZ because if our Pokemon is, let's say, statused and already has some damage on it, this is a great way to recover it up and prevent knockouts. Can, of course, also get your Shaman back up. We're also running Lysander. This can be great with Team Aqua's Viper, especially. And moving into the items, we've got 4 copies of Versus Seeker, for all the obvious reasons. And we're running 3 copies of Ultra Ball. We could be opting for Level Ball here, but this is just a little bit more utilitarian because it can get access to Shaman and Team Aqua's Muck, which Level Ball can't. So we just decided to go ahead for one consistent Pokemon searching card. Now, in terms of combating status, we're actually running Sparkling Robe. I partially wanted to run this just for the sake of running it because this card virtually never gets played. It just essentially makes the Pokemon always have like a Steel Shelter effect. It just doesn't have status conditions, and if it has one when you attach this card, it erases it. So this is perfect to put on your active Pokemon with Ariados around. Of course, we may not always have that luxury, so we're also running 2 copies of Switch, and you can switch between one double colorless energy Pokemon and another to kind of capitalize on that status we've inflicted on our opponent. And we're also running Starling Megaphone. We're running one of this. This is basically for Zoroark and Keldeo EX kind of things. Blows off those float stones and makes those things more of a liability than anything. Because, Zoroark and Keldeo look good until you actually have to pay their retreats for their switching in tactics, especially with Team Aqua's Muck around. They all of a sudden are not nearly so good. So the Megaphone is definitely there for that. Our opponents won't expect it because it's run almost not at all right now. We're also running Crushing Hammer, continuing with our energy deprivation theme. This allows us to hit those benched Pokemon, and we're running this, and we didn't find any room for Enhanced Hammers, mainly because Enhanced Hammer doesn't hit every opponent. Some opponents don't suffer from Enhanced Hammer at all because they run all basic energies. Crushing Hammer hits everybody, and it can hit the bench, so it's sort of perfect for this. Our ace spec is going to be Scoop Up Cyclone. This allows us to not lose our double colorless energies to Pokemon getting knocked out and whatnot. This can also say things like Sparkling Robe, which is pretty cool. We've opted for 3 copies of Super Scoop Up. Once again, almost everything in this deck wants to be super scoop upped, and it's nice that it saves double colorless energy, which is pretty darn important. We are running 3 copies of Burbank City Gym. Play it when you need it. Don't just automatically drop it out if you don't have to. But this helps us secure some really important knockouts, like I say, especially with Pester on the Team Aqua's Muck. Pester with Poisonous Nest. Pest Nest. Yeah. Well, your opponent's going to think it's really pesty and annoying anyway, and that's what counts. You don't have to call it that. It'd be nice, but you don't have to. We're running 4 copies of double colorless energy because this is our main energy we want to use. Like a lot of decks, this is the one we're wanting to hit more than anything. It's the crucial energy. We don't want to power up with basic energies in this deck. It's way too slow. But we do have 6 psychic energies. This is so Team Aqua's Muck can attack, and Team Aqua's Survivor can use this too. So they are here as an alternative when the DCEs aren't working. We do kind of have to have them. And that is the deck. It's a kind of a slow, controlled deck, and it's fun. It's great for casual play. And casual play, think about it. Play casual. That's what this is. It's a game, so don't be afraid to have fun sometimes. And this is a great deck to have fun with and really surprise people because they're cards they don't really expect. So anyway, until next time, like, comment, subscribe. Check me out on Twitter. Link is below. You find out all kinds of cool stuff before anybody else when you're on Twitter, so it's nice to be on there. And hey, following me is absolutely free. Joining Twitter is free, so there's no reason you wouldn't. I will see you next time.